Thank you for being here with us for our 2026 event. I am honored to introduce Treasure Owens, MBA. She is our keynote speaker, women veteran today. Treasure is a Chicago native. She is a service-disabled Army veteran and founder of Treasure Marketing, a marketing and business development consultancy supporting veteran-owned businesses, nonprofits, and community organizations across Chicago and beyond. During her 6 years of service, Treasure served as an intelligence analyst with special assignments ranging from foreign disclosure representative to S2 NCOIC at the battalion level. She is the founder of the Black Veterans Expo, a Chicago Innovation Award nominated platform that has reached over 7,000 attendees through national activations, and the creator of the JROTC Workforce Development and Mentorship Pipeline that has raised nearly $80,000 for Chicago area cadets. That's right. Treasure serves on the Chicago Reparations Task Force Justice Court Group and was appointed by Governor J.B. Pritzker to the Breakthrough Therapies for Veterans Suicide Prevention Program Advisory Council. Her work has helped raise over $500,000 for nonprofits and community organizations with media coverage on WGN-TV and ABC7. She was named one of the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs 25 Illinois Women Veterans of 2025 and received the 1865 Coalition's Jesse Brown's Community Leader Award. A graduate of Fayetteville State University with a bachelor's in intelligence science and an MBA from Northern Illinois University, Treasure is currently completing a second master's degree at Colorado Technical University with a concentration in finance, accounting, and project management. Online, she's known as Chicago's favorite veteran, a title she gave herself, and a promise she continues to live out every day. Treasure.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Before I say a single word about myself, I would like to know who's in the room. Can you raise your hand if you're starting a business or if you're thinking about starting one? Okay, I see a few hands. Okay, cool. Let's connect afterwards. Can you raise your hand if you're looking for a mentor or someone who's already been where you're trying to go? I could use some mentors as well. Nice to see you. And lastly, can you raise your hand if you could just use some community right now, just people who understand you in this moment and in this season? Thank you so much. I see a lot of hands, actually. Thank you for sharing the reality of where you are with me and the rest of the ladies in the room. A lot of what I'm going to share today touches exactly on those things. Building something out of nothing, going through seasons where you need people and didn't have them, and figuring out who your people are and even who you are. And honestly, I'm glad. Not glad that you guys are going through it just like me, but I'm glad that I'm not the only one in the room who's lived some version of this. So if anything I say today hits close to home, just know that you're not alone in this. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Treasure Owens. I'm a Chicago native, a lifelong learner, a marketing and business development consultant, a dog mom, a proud God mom, a veterans advocate, and an Army veteran myself. 6 years, thank you. 6 years, one tour, one rotation, no combat, unfortunately, and I'm the girl online boldly claiming to be Chicago's favorite veteran. Now, I don't fully believe that, but I love saying it because it gives me two reactions every single time. One is usually a man, and I say that with love and a little bit of annoyance, who immediately tells me he's going to take that title from me. And two is genuine curiosity from someone who is surprised that someone this young looking could be a veteran at all. Either way, people are talking, and it makes an impression that says, I am here. A young Black female veteran pushing against the idea that veterans look one specific way. Because in most people's eyes, a veteran is a white man somewhere between his late 40s and up. And until they meet enough of us, they are going to keep being surprised, so I will keep saying it. My military journey started right after high school, but I always knew I wanted to serve in the military. I grew up hearing stories from both my brothers and about them. My brothers in the Navies and the Marines, my great-grandfather who served in the Army, among other family members. And I always looked at military service as the highest honor one can achieve in this lifetime. The ability to serve your country. What got me there faster was the reality that I could only afford half of college. I wasn't the worst student, but the most these schools would offer me was a half scholarship for playing the clarinet. Merit-based, unfortunately, was not an option for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I scored well on my ASVAB, a 70, and yet I ended up in the Army when my plan was the Air Force. And somehow on active duty, which I found out when my battle buddy started to get the opportunity to go home, and I did not. Not only that, but I found out people around me were getting big bonuses, $20,000 or more. My recruiter did not stress that to me. And actually, I haven't heard from her since I signed those papers. But that's okay because, okay, yeah, that's a story that everybody can relate to. But that's okay because I think, of course, a lot of us can relate to some version of that story. The thing that didn't go the way that you planned, that turned out to be exactly what you needed. My first duty station was on Camp Humphreys in South Korea, which was great. I got to serve on the Installation Reaction Force. I got proof that places outside of the United Sides of Chicago exist. I got to see the world, and I left with an Article 15 because I was a teenager and I was human. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. From there, I was stationed on Fort Riley, Kansas, and from there they sent us to Europe, Germany, Poland, Belgium, where I served as a foreign disclosure representative, participated in panels asking whether women should serve in the infantry. Yes. And trained for a combat zone that I never got to participate in, which is still a sore spot for me. Came back stateside, COVID hit. I started my company, Treazure LLC, also known as Treazure Marketing. I transitioned from active duty to the National Guard, the North Carolina National Guard to be specific, not Illinois. And I was happy about it at the time. I thought I had everything. The bonus, $20,000 for 3 years this time. The base at Fort Bragg, where Intel professionals were set to succeed. My battle boo, who was stationed in the area as well. The business with no real plan, but I had it. And the HBCU, which North Carolina has plenty of. I was finally going to get the full college experience. Most of my friends from back home were in school, and this was my chance to finally do the same. For the most part, I enjoyed that season. On paper, it looked okay. I even served as S2 in COIC at the battalion level before it was all said and done. 6 years, 2 countries, one Article 15, I'm not ashamed to say out loud, 7 service medals, and a company I started while I was still in. But here's the thing nobody prepares you for during transition. And I mean any transition, active duty to National Guard, Guard to civilian life, whatever your version looks like. It gives you a lot of time to sit and think. And I don't do well sitting and thinking. Outside of getting acclimated to being called by my first name again, figuring out what my personal style was as I spent most of my days up to this point in uniform, having to cook for myself again after getting 3 cooked meals a day, and reconnected with my family that I already had a poor relationship with due to childhood trauma, I was also dealing with not being able to secure adequate housing. I was sleeping in my car, sleeping in a unit, in transition homes, on base, in the barracks when I could get access. I was renting rooms. I couldn't afford 3 times the rent, and the VA in North Carolina would not help because apparently I made too much money on 90% VA disability. To this day, some veterans at 90% or higher are still $100 over the income threshold for SNAP and other federal benefits assistance. I don't want them taking our money, but I do wish that they would look into that. Thankfully, Chicago has a little better infrastructure for handling situations like this. So if you're in the room and you're navigating something similar, there is more help available here than what I got in North Carolina. It's crazy because everyone told me that I'd be making six figures. Intelligence analyst, top secret clearance, it's too easy. You're gonna be set for life. And then recruiters told me I wasn't hireable without a bachelor's degree, and the ones who did want to hire me wanted me to drop everything and go back overseas to active combat areas because I had no children and no distractions, as they put it. And in the middle of that, I had time to sit and think about everything that happened to me in the military. The racism, the sexual harassment, the sexual assaults, and everything I did to my body to mitigate those things. The best thing I did for myself at that time was enroll in therapy. I highly recommend the Jesse Brown VA's DBT and day hospital programs. They really helped me. And no matter how different our services looked like, I was in rooms with women whose experiences made me feel less alone. And we helped each other navigate through both visible and invisible wounds. I also enrolled in school, 8-11 classes at a time, because I wanted to get the credentials that people said I was missing as fast as humanly possible. And eventually, I was medically retired. Someone in this room might be carrying a version of that story, quietly. So I'll be honest in how that felt. It felt like losing. What happened to the warrior's ethos? I would never quit. I felt like a coward. My relationship with my mom was not in a great place at the time, and I was back at her house. I hadn't gotten to the good stuff in my career yet. People were poking holes in my service every chance they got because I was intelligence, because I was young, because I didn't do 20 years, my 6 years meant nothing. And I want to address that directly. 35 Fox, intelligence analyst. Infantry cannot move without intelligence. Nobody goes anywhere until ISOPREP is updated. You don't maintain your clearance without S2. Every single job is mission critical. No matter how long you did it for, and anyone who tells you otherwise needs to be walked away from mid-sentence. You only start, okay, walk away. But you can't have a testimony without a test. I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. But I made a promise to myself and God that if I could get through it, I would use everything I had to connect this city and this community. I named myself Chicago's favorite veteran as a testament to that promise. And I believe that I've been making good on it ever since. After I made my way back to Chicago, and in the 4 years I have been back, I got my bachelor's in intelligence studies from Fayetteville State University, my HBCU, go Broncos, my MBA from Northern Illinois University, and I'm on a full ride scholarship at Colorado Tech for my second master's with a concentration in project management, finance, and accounting. And I just got accepted to my doctoral program, and I will be the first woman in my family to do so. The impact that I've had since then is undeniable. Though people have made it their hobby to try. My portfolio spans the Illinois Veterans for Change Chicago DNC Veterans Party, ComEd's Market Development Initiative, the Joseph Business Center Small Business Week celebration for veterans alongside the SBA, the SBDC, and VBOC, campaigns that generated media coverage on WGN-TV and ABC7, fundraising that has collectively raised over $500,000 for nonprofits and community organizations. I conceptualized and hosted the Black Veterans Expo, nominated for the Chicago Innovation Award, a 200 plus in attendees, and over 7,000 reach at national trade show brand activations. With state legislators, and supply diversity program leaders in the room, I facilitated real conversations about veteran equity and real business getting done. I built a JNRTC workforce development and mentorship pipeline at Morgan Park High School, where cadets have surpassed their fundraising goals 3 years in a row, accumulating to over $80,000 in funding, increased alumni engagement, supported their dress drive so every cadet can have access to a nice dress for their formal events. All my mentees have been promoted and or received scholarships to the schools of their choice, and are securing jobs and connections within the veterans community before they even enlist, if they decide to do so. I serve on the Chicago Reparations Task Force, Justice Core Group. I was appointed by Governor J.B. Pritzker to serve on the Breakthrough Therapies for Veteran Suicide Prevention Program Advisory Council. I have helped hundreds of veterans launch and grow their businesses and nonprofits, including No Salt Sailing, Struggle Beer Bakery, the National Veterans Art Museum, Sherman's Logistics, and many more. And I've served non-veterans like Native American organizations, youth advocacy programs, and nonprofits serving justice-impacted families, both in and outside of Chicago. From Massachusetts' Aquina Cultural Center to LA's 40 Tons brand. I've done so much more, and I'm just getting started. I'm not telling you all of this to impress you. I'm telling you this because I incorporated my company in 2020, and I didn't get my first real clients until 2022. The same year I moved back home. 2 years of building in the dark before anything was visible to anyone on the outside. It was not linear, and it was not fast. It did not look the way that I thought it would. I lost a lot of friends who got tired of me talking about what I was going to do, but they didn't see it. I was dismissed when I introduced some of the ideas I had to certain public officials who claim to serve veterans but just want a photo op with us. And sometimes I had no support at all. But all that I envisioned was possible, and what I built stands as proof. I leveraged everything I had, and I will continue to do the same to get to where I'm going. Being the youngest in the room meant I carried a perspective that those rooms were missing. And eventually, people started recognizing that and opening doors because of it. Being a minority meant I could get into spaces that organizations were struggling to reach, and most importantly, ensure that resources, visibility, and opportunity were flowing to all veterans, especially those in underserved subcommunities that needed them the most. And being a woman in male-dominated veteran spaces meant I had to earn my seat. And once I earned it, I made sure it counted for more than just me. Every single door I've gone through, I have brought someone into that room with me, some of whom are in this room right now. Life is a game of cards. I have decided I'm going to play every single one I have. And I understand that while playing games, it is best to not play alone, whether that be reaching out to someone that's playing it well or reaching out to someone who's struggling and getting them both on your team. As an Aries, it wasn't always easy playing with others. I'm a ball of fire. And at one point, I have become very bitter about my circumstances. Constant rejection can do that to you, even during therapy. I was somewhere between the anger, bargaining, and depression stages of grief, of the life I thought that I would have in comparison to the one that I was living. And my misery does not like company. I often found myself self-isolating. And at one point, it was hard for me to take criticism. I had had enough. I didn't want to hear anymore. I shut people out. I pushed people away. I blocked people, friends and family. And even if I wanted to apologize, I did not. Getting to 100% permanent total didn't help either, especially when there was no job to show up to, no required schedule, no built-in community. It just makes the couch look more comfortable, and little by little, until you look up and realize you are not who you say you are anymore. Might even look down and can't even see your toes anymore. What has kept me going through every phase of life is the women in my life. My mom, my friends, my mentors, my sisters, blood and water, and some of the ladies in this room, both directly and indirectly. Context allows for conversations, which allows for healing. And I am honored to be a bearer of so many testimonies, my own and others, and I am grateful to those who bear mine. When I got to the point of acceptance, I was able to envision a brighter life for myself. It also helped knowing and seeing some of you all online and aspiring to be just like you. An advocate in my community like Denise Montoya, a serial entrepreneur like Yvette Jones, a businesswoman with many partnerships like Melissa Farmer Hill, breaking barriers and supporting fellow women like Rochelle Crump, having a name with so much weight, supported by my work ethic and impact that my involvement in projects alone opened doors, like Beverly Fitch, building something to the national level of service, and pouring into the next generation, like Jamila Tremule and Tatiana Roberts, who aren't veterans, just them on the list, but have given me their time, their wisdom, and helped me realize the true meaning of sisterhood. I could go on for days, but I only have 30 minutes. In all, despite the hurdles and curveballs that life threw me along the way, despite my times of having to be pulled out of isolation when I was bedrotting and lying in my sorrows, despite my trials and tribulations, I'm proud of the accomplishments I've been able to achieve. If your story mirrors mine, I can say in true confidence that there is someone in this room that will be in your corner if you let them. Keyword, if you let them. Today, my life's mission is to provide marketing, business development, and strategic support to organizations and individuals driving impact in disadvantaged communities, whether through their own ventures, their products, services, and programs, or by contributing to the efforts of others through volunteering, sponsoring, or partnering. My vision, my why, is to reveal the gold mines of opportunity that the world has to offer so individuals and communities can live up to their full potential in this lifetime and beyond. And everything I do is rooted in the identities I align with, the ability to make a real difference, and making it a little easier for the person coming behind me. Because someone made it easier for me. Maybe for you, it was a senior NCO who saw something in you before you saw it in yourself. Maybe it was a woman at the VA who actually advocated for the healthcare you needed. Maybe it was someone whose story you read in a history book that you celebrate in your own way. Maybe it was someone online whose life you watched from a distance and thought, I don't know how she does it, but I want to try. You are that woman for someone else. Right now, today, whether you know her name yet or not. So I wanted to leave you with 3 things I've heard that I have told myself, told cadets, and anybody who will listen. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I would love to see more collaboration amongst the builders and supporters in this community. Whether you have the same or similar products and services or not. The question isn't who's doing the work. The question is the veteran being served or not? Secondly, it's okay to change your mind and pivot. I don't care how much time, energy, money, or emotion that you've invested. If something is taking over your life to the point where you forget that you only have one, you have permission to walk away. This is your life. You live it for the version of you and yourself that you're becoming. Not the version someone else decided you should be, not even the version of yourself that you thought that you would be and can't get over. And lastly, control what you can control. There's an old quote that reads, when fishermen go out to sea, when they cannot go out to sea, they repair their nets. When the sea is too rough to sail, the smart ones don't just sit idle. They mend, they sharpen, and they prepare. Because even in stillness, there is progress. That means to do something that tells your body and your mind that you are still here, still showing up, still in the game. Whether that be keeping up with your appearance, continuing to build your knowledge in your favorite subject area, or simply making your bed and letting that be your one accomplishment of the day. Because the storm always breaks eventually, and you want to be ready when it does. For those building a business, please keep going. For those in school who are ready to quit, please keep going. For the mothers in this room holding everything together with not enough support and not enough sleep and not enough credit, your village is in this room today. And there are plenty of resources to go around in the veterans community. If you need something, say something. Someone may be able to point you in the right direction. Don't stop asking until you get what you need. And if you don't see it, build it. It's not too late for anyone at any age or at any stage in this community to be a contributor. Despite every curveball and every system that failed us, and every person who underestimated what we are capable of, I am proud of what we have accomplished. And I hope that when you look to your left and your right today, or even when you're at home later scrolling and feeling like you're behind, that you know that you can do what I did, what she did, what he did, and more. The possibilities are endless. Thank you to every woman in this room who has ever mentored me, dealt with my pushback and my stubbornness. You know who you are, and I love you for it. I love this community. I see phenomenal women in this room with bright futures ahead of them. You have fought the wounds, both seen and unseen, through being let down by people and places and institutions that you trusted. You know your intentions are pure, and you are still here, and I commend you for trying. Together we can accomplish anything. Again, my name is Treazure Owens. If you would like to collaborate with me or just talk or process anything that stirred up for you, I'll be here for a little while, and I gotta head over to the Chicago Reparations Task Force, unfortunately, but also fortunately because we gonna get some reparations. This is Women Warriors 2026. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, Treasure. So you see a warrior who most certainly didn't quit. Just a warrior with an evolving mission. Thank you for again, Treasure. Let's give her another.